Start another video. Okay. So anyway, we were talking about all the things that have come up when I pull up Palm Beach Sailing Club, not things that I'm going out there and researching. Again, we don't speak in public. So the only thing I can get is from the computer. I just simply type in Palm Beach Sailing Club, it comes up. Okay, so one of the things is this: they transport let gasoline being transported through that boathouse. Remember, that boathouse has got a second story that is all wood with kids up there. And man, oh man, that's just, as a firefighter, I can tell you, that's just dangerous stuff. You need an emergency exit. That the bottom is cement. They need to make that top cement. They need to invest some money and make that top cement. They need to fix that wall. But anyway, transport over water. So I'm a boater. I belong to the club, for an example, and I come up and I need gasoline or diesel for my boat. So I would go and take my car or rent a car or rent a truck, and I would go get diesel, okay, in jerry cans. We call them jerry cans. I think that's from World War II. Anyway, we call them jerry cans. And normally diesel is yellow jerry can, gasoline is red. So you carry them across that wooden dock through the boathouse with a wooden floor, okay? So you see where I'm going with this? And you carry them and you put them in your dinghy in the water, okay? So everyone see this? Now, anyone who's ever carried a jerry can or a gas can can tell you these things are not leak proof. So they're going to leak. You're going to get some spillage. Now, the question is if you have something like that over water, our requirement from the Coast Guard, I'm a captain, so my requirement from the Coast Guard is to have abatement. And abatement, in my view, that's what I call it. I believe that's what it's called. And abatement, in my view, is to have like what we call bilge tampons. These are, I don't know, 3M, whatever, okay? You can throw them in the water, and they don't absorb water. They only absorb petroleum products. Pretty cool, huh? So the water gets passed, and the petroleum product gets absorbed. So normally, in a situation like that, we'd have a bucket or two. And we also use booms. Now these are just bilge donuts, basically, bilge weenies. Okay, so they're just a long weenie in there. You can attach them together and make a shield around a diesel spill or a gas spill or an oil spill. And these are the things that make sense. Now, all these boats out here need to change the oil and stuff like that. So the only way to get that old oil off is to put it in your dinghy and transport it back over that wooden dock, back through that wooden floor and that wooden second story boathouse to your car. And there's no abatement. They have zero. They don't have a bucket. They don't have a donut. A wiener. I'm telling you, I don't know how this looks on video, but again, I didn't do that. I didn't go, hey, that is just something, again, that pops up because, number one, I'm a captain, and I know that they have to have that. And then I've already told you about the, what I call repairing Title 10 of the Florida State Constitution. Okay, so anyway, I give you that, my version of it. If we're going walking down the beach, we're walking hand in hand. I got my girlfriend there, and we're walking hand in hand. We can walk all the way down the beach, even if some Karen comes out and shouts, "Oh, you're walking on my land!" But if we walk by, I assume the Kennedy compound, even though I've never been to the Kennedy compound, I hear it's in Palm Beach. You walk past the Kennedy compound on the beach, you're fine. The second you walk that riparian, right? So in other words, the second you walk too far, which is, remember we showed you that hard packed sand versus a soft packed sand, then their property. And as soon as you walk too far, you're on their property, and they can ask you to leave, and they can trespass you. Now, if you're Sailfish Marina, for example, or you're Rybovich needs to protect their water too. So in other words, I can't just go over to Rybovich and tie up to their dock saying that their dock is on public waters. I can't do that. And the reason I can't do it is to me, I see it as a legal one. they have already gone to the state submerged land, and they have leased or bought. I think it's pre-1960. Pre-1960, they bought the land or they leased the land, and I believe in both cases, Sailfish Marina and Rabovich, they leased the land. So they pay annually to the government for having the right to stop me from being on their dock. Okay, so, and if I anchor, let's say, off of their dock and anchor in the way of the boats, that makes sense, right? You think about that. That makes sense because they can stop me from doing that. That shuts them down as a marina. So they pay the state, again, the right to do that. And so most of the people are incredibly nice, and they'll tell you, hey, you're anchored too close, please move your boat. And, you know, if you don't, well, then they call the marine police or whatever, and then, you know, just tell you to move. So those are all things. The OSHA thing and the state thing and the federal thing, I asked for those documents. And why did I ask for those? From their attorney, because their attorney said I was doing it to embarrass them. If they were compliant, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. First of all, I'm an OSHA 30 guy. So what's that? You go to a class and they train you to do OSHA. And so basically what's required of you is to create a safe work environment. And if the public uses your work environment, you know, they cross it, which they do over here because of all these boats and stuff that they work on, then it's there to protect the public. And so it's all there. And like, say for example, I want paint and solvents. So in other words, I spray paint, so I need solvents to thin the paint down to go in the spray gun. Okay, and I need solvents to clean the hulls. All right, mineral spirits, whatever else. Okay, and acetone and that kind of thing. So the question is, when I buy this stuff, where am I going to put it? Well, that is a good question, because if you are in your home, I'm thinking, again, not a lawyer, but I'm thinking you're okay just to put it somewhere because it's your home. But that's not their home. Okay? And when I worked for the other company, my company, we had to buy these $4,000 or $5,000 lockers, okay? You know, where you can shut them and lock the flame inside. So, and they don't do that. They have a 20-foot container over here next to their building, all right, with a cloth roof. So there you go. I mean, that's an example of something that all the public can see. And, you know, maybe they don't care. And I would have never cared. I don't think. That sounds horrible, but I don't think I ever would have really paid attention if this hadn't come up. And so, you know, you start paying attention. You know, you see things for the first time. And that's kind of like what I did there. So that's particularly it. And all this started with the same exact thing. I paid $20 a day, I explained that, to the club, to be a part of the club. And I did it not because I wanted to, I did it because the guy who sold me the boat basically just kind of beat me into it, and his dad. Oh my God, I wish you could meet this guy. Super cool dude. I mean, the Frank Sinatra of Palm Beach. And this guy had everything. And he told me to do it. And anything that guy told me to do, I'm going to do. So I joined and paid my $20, and they wanted a credit card. And so I gave them the credit card. And I never authorized them to charge a penny more. But most of you know, if you pay cash for a hotel room, you got to give a credit. You got to give a credit card for anything you do nowadays. So, you know, you don't even think about those things. And so anyway, sorry about that. You see what we did, right? We carry our cooler. You know the drill now. What we do. We carry the bucket. We carry the cooler. Why the bucket? Yeah, it's waterproof. There you go. It's a cheap waterproof solution to carry your phone in. And so we crossed their property on our way to the truck. Okay? It was winter. And so we crossed the property on the way to the van. And then we took the van to a park, or the doctor's appointment, and I'm looking after a 10-year-old and a 15-year-old for the guy that died, Darren, his kids. So I don't really take care of them. I take them fishing. I drop them off fishing, fish with them, and I went to their karate graduation. So that's basically it. So I used their bathroom because they had hot showers with lots of water. So I went in. Never did we have a problem. So no one ever said a word to us. We never said a word to anybody. So again, the dog on the property without a leash was not a problem. Nobody ever said anything. The only time it was a semi-problem is when kids kind of jump in there and start, interfering with the dog. Now, if adults do that, you can just say, hey, don't interfere with the dog. He's got a job to do. But when kids do it, hey, you can't be that kind of guy, So I don't want to be that kind of guy. So anyway, so we would stop if kids started to play with him, touch him and that kind of thing. And he's aware of the fact that he's supposed to just kind of sit there and play with kids. And if they sit on the ground, he'll give them a kiss occasionally. But as soon as I say, come, he'll come back to attention. And so that's it. So you play with the kids, or the kids play with him, I should say. And that was the total sum of it. Then we would go to a park, or go to the library, or go with a 10 and 15-year-old, or whatever we had to do. The public park, again, I have a special chair. They cost a lot of money. For those of you out there, just buy a bag chair. I feel very jealous. And so we go to the park and we lay down in the park, and Champ crawls up he has a special spot on the thing, and he crawls up there and he goes to sleep. And occasionally we'll go chase some squirrels. He likes coconuts, so occasionally we'll tear up a coconut. Not climb up a tree and tear up a coconut, but old coconuts on the beach. So that's our drill. The only difference is when we went to the van, we would load up our stuff, and then in the afternoon or morning, we would take a hot shower. Now, I wish I could go back on the property to show you, because it's not that big a deal. The men's bathroom, they have one, and the shower as you enter is off to the right, and there's a curtain. So there's a bench and there's 2 showers. So we'd go in there. Champ would climb underneath the bench. Now, Champ hates the water. Don't know why this is, but dogs that you get from the Caribbean for some reason hate the water. Both of mine always did. And Champ hates the water. So anyway, I know, not to get him close to the water unless I'm going to give him a bath. And by the way, I never gave him a bath in the shower. So I took a bath. I took a shower. So I kind of keep one eye out, kind of the shower, if you imagine. And Champ is underneath the bench. That's where he goes. And then my clothes and wallet and that kind of thing were on top of the bench. Actually, the bucket was on top of the bench. So we took a shower, we dried off, and we left. And one day when we left, we encountered Gonzalo Crivello. We're going to go with that name, Gonzalo Crivello. And if I got it wrong, sorry, Gonzalo, or whatever your name is, but I got it wrong. So we encountered him. Gonzalo said that the dog, okay, I think this is as close to a quote as I can get. The dog has to be on a leash. Now, I have encountered Gonzalo before, but we've never met. We still have never met, okay? We've never met any of these people. You got to remember, I don't speak in public, okay? So if these people speak to me, I might say hi, but I'm never going to stop and engage in a conversation with them or anyone else. So Gonzalo says he has to be on a leash. I explained to Gonzalo about the leash law and service animals and how come he doesn't have to be on a leash. I kind of gave him the very short version. I carry around I don't think I have it. I have to dig it out. I carry around a piece of paper that has the rules on it, and I offer it to people to give it to them to educate. And if they read it and go, oh, okay, I didn't know that, then that's great. But Gonzalo said, this is private property and we basically can make any rules we want to. Here you go. There you go. See that? this is one of the pieces of paper I use. Normally it's highlighted. There's the federal law. Okay, Department of Justice 25 CFR. Okay, and here's the Florida statute 413.08. So there you go. There, we offer this to people. Here you go. You may not be aware of this. Now, if people persist, what are we gonna do? You know, I don't want to fight. I said to Gonzalo, and I believe these are close to exact words because I say the same thing. If it makes you feel more comfortable, I will put him on a leash. No, actually, I say leash him. If it makes you feel more comfortable, I'll leash him. Okay. And Gonzalo didn't say, yes, it makes me feel more comfortable. Please leash him. And, you know, we could work this out later or something. He didn't say anything like that. He said, them's the law. You know, that's the law. And so I was like, no. So, the bathroom is connected. Men's bathroom is connected. When you walk out the door, it's connected to the rest of the clubhouse. And so when I walked out the door, Gonzalo was talking to somebody, and who I now know is Ali. Don't even get me started on her last name. But anyway, I know that's not her name because nothing comes up on her. And so she's one of the witnesses too. I don't know why. Must be, I don't know. Maybe she's under a married name and I just don't know, but she's not there. So he was talking to her, and as I walk out the door, the two of them approached me. There was a third person there who I think is an accountant. I don't know. She believed she was lightheaded. Anyway, these two approached me out in the hallway, and there was there's a big desk with chairs. It looks like a place that directors would meet. I don't know if it is. And, you know, there's flags on the wall, that kind of thing. So I've had my shower. I'm clothed in clean clothes, and I'm standing out there, and I confront them, and they confront me, and I give them the law. And so Ali pulls up the law and tells me that it says it has to be leashed. So I told her to keep reading, and she wouldn't keep reading. So again, I said, if it makes you feel more comfortable, I will leash him. So anyway, they said, where are you going? And I said, to leash him. So I walked out to the van, got the leash, put the leash on him, and came back inside. And I offered again to, you know, make right this wrong, and show them the law. They weren't interested. So that was it. Afterwards, I found out that day, Ali charged my card $285. I believe it's $285. I still don't know the exact charge. It's 200 and something. Almost $300. Let's put it that way. And so anyway, you know, I'm paying $20 a day in cash. You know, what the heck? You know, why are you charging my card? And why are you charging me $285? Well, later I found out that, and this was Joseph Fields who showed me this, along with Quincy Brukerhoff. Okay, don't know if that's her name. Joseph is I believe he's a board member, and he's the old Commodore. Quincy is the new Commodore. They showed me this contract that had a $285 or $200 and whatever dollars associated with it. And they showed me this contract, and they were like, you're not following the contract. And there was no signature on it. There's my name, but there's no signature. The reason there's no signature on it is I had never seen it. Not once had I ever seen it. So that was the end of that. There was no more conversation until I got a letter from Quincy, and she didn't offer to meet with me. She just basically accused me of, you know, being rude and not following the rules. And so I said, you know, hey, you know, you got to meet with me, you know, you got to hear my version of things. And anyway, those are the videos, and you know, it's not a question that they're lying. It's just a question of they don't realize that there's videos out there that show they're lying, that prove they're lying. And anyway, after that, once the lawyer, Joseph Quincy, is not a lawyer. Well, I don't assume she's not a lawyer. And Joseph, they get together, and Joseph says, as a lawyer, he was supposed to give me legal advice on the ADA. And basically, he said the same thing. Dog has to be leashed. And I said again, the law doesn't say that, but if it makes you feel more comfortable, I'll leash him. And that's what I always say. Almost those exact words, if not those exact words. And so anyway, he said, Dad, there's no contract. Then you're not a member of this club, and you're trespassing. So he didn't say trespassing. You're not a member of this club. He said, call the police and the tow truck. That's the way I remember, and I believe that's pretty accurate. He called me an asshole twice. Got that on video. Shouldn't be talking that way as a lawyer, you know? Especially you're there to give legal advice, and you're going to call me an asshole. Anyway, that's what he did. And so I left, and I never went back. Never stepped foot on their property ever again. And that's the end. And so what did I do? I called my credit card company and asked for a refund. The credit card company did the research, and they said, you gave these guys your credit card, so you're going to have to get your refund from them because they're not playing ball. So I asked for the refund, no refund. So I went to court, got a brand new education about our court system, and went to small claims court, filed the $285 plus court cost. And then they hired a lawyer, so I went up to $1,499, I believe. And then the lawyer said, you got to do everything by the book, which is not what the judge said. But all I had to go on was the lawyer's word, and of course I'm clueless. So I had to hire lawyers and paralegals. And, you know, it's a principle of the thing. I should have dropped it probably, but, you know, for those of you out there that are listening to this, you know, it's the principle of the thing. You can't just screw somebody over. And so anyway, the maximum was $8,000, so I just went up to $8,000. By the way, for those of you out there filing a small claim suit, I think from like $3,000 to $8,000 is a $175 filing fee. So why wouldn't you file for $8,000? If you file for $3,000, it costs the same thing as $8,000. So I just filed $8,000. And I figured they would settle somewhere in the middle. But they didn't even offer to settle. Well, they did first $300, which, of course, by then my court costs had blossomed to $400 or $500. And then second time for $500, at which time the court case had blossomed to well over $1,000. And for those of you out there, no lawyers. Oh, by the way, there's great law things online, and you know, you can buy forms and that kind of thing, which is what I did for the most part. But you know, the judge, for example, the judge today said, you know, you don't have a hearing on all these issues because you didn't ask for a hearing. Well, I filed a motion, but I didn't know specifically to list all these things for a hearing. So I had to file a separate piece of paper for a hearing. So you file a motion. Why would you even file a motion? So I don't know. Don't ask me. So I filed a motion. Why would I file a motion if a motion accomplishes nothing? This doesn't make any sense. I would just file for a hearing. Well, first of all, there is no filing for a hearing. So everything they say is done through a motion. So I did it through a motion, and you know, it wasn't right. And she said, you know, I had 15 minutes. And, you know, there's all these things that I had to deal with. The interrogatories and all that stuff. And I never got a chance to deal with those. So we'll have to file additional motions. The talk today was about jury trial. I think I'm going to go that way. The judge just appears to be, you know, this is a lawyer and, you know, he's good and you're not the lawyer, so you're bad. So I think the jury needs to hear this. I don't know how. I don't even have a clue how I'm going to do that. But, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound, what are you going to do? And now these guys are filing false police claims, and y'all have already seen the video, right? There's nothing, we don't trespass, we don't antagonize. I'm telling you the truth. Follow us for a day. Come out and follow us for a day, and you'll see that I don't speak with anyone. If the police did come right now, I wouldn't speak to them at all. When I go to the court to file these documents, I walk in. I don't speak to anybody. Nobody. The only time I speak to someone is at the desk. Because if you use sign language, or you use, because I do sign, if you use sign language, oh, my favorite. Thank you. If you use sign language, you know, that doesn't work. And if you try to write stuff down, holy crap, you can talk a lot faster than you can write. And it's just a pain. So I talk then. But I talk low and only to that one person. So, and they say the same thing every time. It's so aggravating. No, we don't give legal advice. I'm not looking for legal advice. I'm just looking to see how I file this document.
Can I give you enough room to get out? Move anyway.
Oh, well, it's okay. I think I'd eventually get out. You know, maybe I have to rock back and forth a couple of times. See, folks? That's a perfect example. I'm not going to be rude, all right? If he walks up and I just use sign language, that's rude. If he walks up and I don't say anything, if he walks up and approaches me and I don't say anything, to me that's rude. So what the heck am I going to do? So, you know, he's nice. He's non-threatening.